session in school, what, 2.5 months?
Right. On average, according to Johns Hopkins University, the average is about 2.5 months of what they learned the previous year. They have forgotten by the time they go back to school in August or September.
Mm-hmm. So what should a parent do to, try to ward off or jump ahead of that to make sure that their child doesn't, lose that 2.5 months?
I think the big thing is, of course, just keep them engaged, keep them learning, make sure that there's always time for some learning, even if it's sneaky. Have them help in the kitchen and read recipes, have them reading, of course, using some different websites that are out there for comprehension checks, and just staying on top of practicing and not just sitting in front of the TV or video games.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing you said is, do some recipes. So how will a recipe help my child as far as their learning?
Well, of course, the reading part, but also the math with measuring, doubling the recipe if you're making it for more than 4 servings, or half if you're making it for less than the recommended number. And of course, just the measuring, of course, like I said before.
Okay. Now, you wrote an article a couple of months ago, that was really, as far as vacationing, some of the tips that parents can do as far as trips. Could you share a little bit of that with us?
Absolutely. One of the tips that I like is, when you're in a car for a long time, you inevitably get the how much longer.
How much longer, Mommy? When are we going to get there?
So my tip is to stop that question. Have them actually calculate how much longer. Say, we're going this fast and we've got this many more miles. So figure it out. Either they'll figure it out or they'll stop asking.
She's going to ask me to answer in a minute. Okay.
And then there's always little games that you can play on the way, as far as one of my favorites is called A to Z.
Yeah. Oh my God, I must know about this game. Tell me.
Basically, you say, okay, we're going to pick a category, and then we're going to go through the alphabet and name one thing that fits that category.
Okay.
So one of my favorites is foods. So you name a food that starts with each letter of the alphabet. And that can go on for quite some time, just changing up the categories every so often.
Wow, I know that's, especially when you get to like Z. Well, zucchini. Yeah.
X is usually the hardest.
X. Okay, what foods start with X? Probably some form of mushroom or something. What do you use?
I usually just skip that one.
Oh, okay. And what are some other tips that parents can do? Let's say, as you're driving, once you get on where your destination is, or you're at home, what are some other tips that parents can do to engage their children mentally? Not their students, their children.
I like to recommend that you let them help you plan.
Oh, okay.
And form the itinerary. You can incorporate some writing skills into convince me why we should go here while we're there.
Yes.
And then also, while you're there, have them photo journal, where they take pictures of things they enjoyed, and then when you get home, just write a brief paragraph about why they thought that was interesting.
Oh, wow. I bet you that's great, especially technology the way it is today. Do you incorporate tweeting and social media with that?
You certainly can. I think, if as many people that do that and keep up with each other that way now, be a great way to let Grandma and Grandpa back home know what you're doing while you're gone.
Oh, that's great. Now, one thing that I also find intriguing is that during the summer is one of your busiest seasons.
Right. Yeah, we stay pretty busy in the summer with students who mom and dad just want to make sure that they don't lose that 2.5 months.
Yes.
And they just keep up with things that they've learned, possibly get ahead for the next year.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now once the school season starts, I know a lot of challenges that children have. I know I used to have I would come back from school, and that's why we were touching on the 2.5 months. I didn't know how to spell that one time. I was like, wait a minute. Now, I had honors, but I didn't know how to spell that when I came back from school. I mean, back from summer vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So, incorporating some of the tips that you're saying that parents should do would keep their mind refreshed in remembering what they had learned in the previous school year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Right.
Okay, now I know you all do a lot of different things at Sylvan, and one of the things that you also do is your sylvanmathprep.com.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about this. Okay, everybody.
That's a great tool. It's a online, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for students to get extra help with math topics.